Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Stand Out on Small Business Saturday, brought to you by the Better Business Bureau and the Minnesota Retailers Association. We are delighted that you are here with us this morning. Now, today's event was designed to attract the crowds and bring in the big sales for this year's Small Business Saturday, which is November 26th, which is right around the corner. So we're really excited to get inspired with all of you today. We're here to talk about tips, ideas, and success stories for a successful Small Business Saturday. My name is Lisa Gemtrude. I'm the Vice President of Community Relations here for the Better Business Bureau of Minnesota and North Dakota. I'm your host today. A couple of logistical notes about today's program. First of all, it is being recorded, and we will have this available at BBB and Minnesota Retailers Association after the program, should you want to log back in or pass it along to others. Next, if you have a question during our webinar, please look at the bottom of your screen and you will see a chat box. This is where you can put your questions, and we will have a session at the end where we can talk about any questions that you may have. Also, if you have any audio or visual questions for our team, let us know, because we would be happy to assist so you can have a great experience today. Now on to the agenda. There'll be a brief overview from myself about the Better Business Bureau and my peer, Bruce Newstead from the Minnesota Retailers Association. You'll hear how we support small businesses all year long. Next, we'll have a few words from our special guest today, the Small Business Administration. Hi, Brian. Glad to have you on today as well. And then we're going to go on to our three featured speakers. Tetra Constantino, the president of Elsa's House of Sleep, Adele Chisholm, owner of Babies on Broadway, and Jordan Diorio, CEO and founder of Mend Jewelry. We'll then wrap up with questions and get you on your way, newly inspired and ready to put your Small Business Saturday plans in motion. Next, a little bit about the Better Business Bureau. We strive to be the leader in advancing marketplace trust. We're champions for business ethics, and we love to spotlight marketplace role models. Our dispute resolution programs are famous and second to none. And we also support businesses in a variety of educational and networking programs like this one. And we specifically help businesses get noticed and elevate their reputation. I encourage you to check us out. Now, please know that we are totally dedicated to your success. Better Business Bureau is a longtime champion for small businesses. We're the largest business association in the Upper Midwest, with approximately 6,800 businesses, most of which are small. We love our small business community, and we want you to do well. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to my partner today, Bruce with the Minnesota Retailers Association. Hi, Bruce. Glad to have you here.
Lisa, thank you so much. Great to see everybody on today. I hope everybody's having a great day. I just wanted to say a couple quick things. I want to thank the Better Business Bureau and the great professional team there for doing a lot of heavy lifting on this, and a great job, of course, from a technical perspective too. So thanks for being a great partner and working with us on this webinar. And great to see our friends from the Small Business Administration. And I'm super excited to hear our retail friends on the webinar today. Just a couple of quick notes. You probably already know this, but retail is a pretty big industry in here in Minnesota. I mean, one of the great things about our economy is we're fairly diverse in our economy, but we do have about 55,000 retailers here in Minnesota. The vast preponderance, as Lisa mentioned, are small businesses. Like 90% of our retailers here in the state are small businesses. And there's about 750,000 Minnesotans that really depend on the success of those small businesses. So think of the logistics chain all the way up to fulfillment. A lot of Minnesotans really depend on all of our speakers that you're here today doing well. So we wish them the best on Small Business Saturday. The Retail Association is just simply a collection of retailers here in the state of Minnesota. As I said, there's about 55,000 retailers. We work with about 1,200 of those storefronts. And in that, we simply try to do our best to tell the story of retail here in Minnesota. One of the great things about retail is it's an amazingly competitive industry. And quite frankly, that works out to the betterment of the consumer And it's just so fun to work with such a competitive industry to try to bring voices together and share ideas with really what we consider to be some key constituents of the retail community. And that's not only other retailers and their key business partners, but certainly the media, especially this time of year. A lot of media asking about how's the holiday season, what's it going to look like? And of course, the elected officials. A lot of the work that we do here at the Retailers Association is take the voice of retailers and bring it to our local and state elected officials to have a nice unified voice on things that impact consumers, communities, retailers, and our workforce. So with that, I just want to pre-thank all of our panelists today for sharing their thoughts. Retail is an amazingly creative community, and we're all better when we share. I know there's only so many consumer dollars out there, but I know there's plenty to go around here in Minnesota. So Lisa, thanks for the opportunity to partner on this event, and I look forward to hearing our speakers. Happy Small Business Saturday prep.
Thanks so much, Bruce. Now we'd love to hear from our special guest, Brian McDonald from the Small Business Administration. Brian, it sounds like SBA has some history with Small Business Saturday. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. And thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you to our hosts, BBB, Minnesota Retailers Association, and excited to be here today for the event with the theme of standing out on Small Business Saturday. And yes, the holidays are coming, and it's a favorite time of year for me, and hope for all of you, my friends. So as a brief history, like Lisa, you were mentioning on Small Business Saturday, since 2011, the SBA has been a formal co-sponsor of Small Business Saturday with American Express. And Small Business Saturday is celebrated each year on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So there's really growing awareness of Small Business Saturday. And it's now, there's now, we would say, widespread support, and some recent statistics estimate that about $20 billion across the country was spent last year at independent retailers and restaurants. And so each year we encourage independent businesses to leverage Small Business Saturday to help drive more traffic to their businesses, whether it's through your doors or through e-commerce during the holiday shopping season. So this year, I know in particular, there's even more events and pop-up markets, and I'm starting to draw up my list of where I'm going to do my shopping. And regardless of if you're going to do that in person or in online capacity, really the most important message is to urge folks to support a wide array of independently owned small businesses. So shop and dine small on November 26th. And remember that gifts of all kinds, gift certificates, experiences like at our local venues, theaters, and performers. We think this holiday season is really going to be a top record for this year and set another record over last year. And really, just wanted to drive home, as we know, the message that local businesses are the job creators, the risk takers, and the main streets and neighborhood hubs that keep our communities vibrant and livable. Nearly half of the workforce in Minnesota are employed by small businesses. And a consumer insight survey that recently came out found that 97% of shoppers recognize the positive impact of shopping small, and 85% of them reported that they encourage their friends and family to shop and dine small as well. So as a small business owner or ally, how can this be harnessed for the greatest good? And well, I hope you're going to stick around to hear from the great speakers here today. And looking at the slide here, if you haven't already, I recommend that you visit at the top here, SBA Online, to check out Small Business Saturday website, and that's www.sba.gov/Saturday. And it has some links to find nearby businesses. Make sure if you're a business owner that you're listed. It has marketing materials and tools to engage on social media. The hashtag to use is @ShopSmall. And finally, I just wanted to make a point that if you wanted any extra support, if you're a small business owner or an ally to recommend, if you wanted any extra support with marketing for the holiday season, I would encourage you to reach out to our team here at the SBA or one of our resource partners. And we've included our contact information on the slide here, and you can visit www.sba.gov for more info. And as a federal agency, our programs are no cost and they're confidential. So if you're interested in that, please connect with us. And thank you again for joining today. To our business owners and allies. We know this is coming at a business time all around, and holiday sales are represent a critical part of annual revenue. So without any more delays, I'm going to turn it back over to the host, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from our speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brian. Now on to our first featured speaker. I'd like to bring your attention to Tetra Constantino, our president of Elsa's House of Sleep. Can't wait to hear about any tips, strategies, stories that you want to share with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Lisa, Brian, Bruce, Jordan, Adele, Megan, and Samantha for this wonderful event. My name is Tetra Constantino, and I'm the president of Elsa's House of Sleep. We are a full-service furniture and mattress store that specializes in fulfilling the high-quality home fashion needs for clients on a budget. Elsa's House of Sleep was founded 25 years ago by my mother, Elsa, and our store was recently featured on season 6 of the Small Business Revolution, and we were a finalist for the Small Family Business Award in 2021, and we actually won the Small Business of the Year Award for the Midway Chamber of Commerce. I live in St. Paul with my wife and my daughter. And something about Elsa's House of Sleep is that it really all starts with my mother, Elsa. My mom, Elsa, came to this country in 1966. She came from Eritrea, and she worked many different jobs. And then she was always an entrepreneur. She raised her 3 kids by selling jewelry, making clothing, and really helping customers find what they were looking for in any type of business that she operated. And something that she always had in mind was to always found her businesses on community, customer service, and really made a great point of delighting her customers and delighting her clients and her friends and family. So really, she treated everybody like family. And this type of customer service and commitment to service is what provided such a great foundation for the business that continues on today called Elsa's House of Sleep. And as you see on the slide, this is my beautiful mother, Elsa. That's me and my mom. And this is our location on University Avenue. When we moved from our location on Snelling, we moved here, and we were there from 97, and we moved over here in 2002. And that's when we had first opened up. We didn't have a sign. We had to do banners and these different types of ways to attract business. So something that's a really huge thing when attracting business is to always have, always put out what you do on the front of your business, and that goes for websites and different things like that. And I'm kind of saying this just to kind of lay the foundation of, whenever you're doing a Small Business Saturday, is that you're really highlighting what's inside of your business and the values of your business, and you bring those values to the forefront. So that's something. So we can go to the next slide. And then here, what you see here is that you see some different things here. So in the front left are these different types of platforms and things like that in which you can promote your small business, and these things are very integral, because before the only way that you could promote your business was through word of mouth, yellow pages, person-to-person advertising, and relationships. But these things right here, you see the logos for the big tech companies. It's basically we just take our foundations of the business, our community relations, how you relate to your neighbors, and how you do basic everyday business, and then you try to translate that and put that into these big social media and marketing engines in order to really tell your story. And that's what Small Business Saturday is really all about. It's really about telling your story. So I'll go through these here. We were featured on a show. That's the one with the cameraman there. And then there's another clip of me and Baron Davis and me and Amanda Brinkman. There's Fancy Ray, our wonderful spokesman. He's great. He's everybody knows Fancy Ray. He's a local legend. And of course, I have Tiger Jack in that clip right there too, because he's somebody who way back in the day, he's somebody who really had pioneered having a community focused business and really staying where you are and being connected to the community. These are some of our ads here on the bottom, and then another way to connect to the community is through different types of organizations, whether it's the Small Business Administration or the Midway Chamber of Commerce. But really, we're talking about Small Business Saturday and Shop Local, and you always have to bring your best foot forward. So now with the Small Business Saturday, it starts with the branding. So then you can connect. There's different types of ways. So we connected with a local artist, and then we have a song. And if you could play that song, not sure how to play it on here. Sorry.
House of Suite, 1441 University Avenue, St. Paul.
Thank you for playing that wonderful song. So that song was recorded by Jamela Pettiford, a local artist. So this is a way that everybody can connect with a store, right? You can have a song, and that song is something that can build up into different events. So Small Business Saturday is just one event, but you always want to have a consistent brand message. And then for Small Business Saturday, there are some tips that we can go over. So number one, you want to leverage your positive attributes, and you want to tie into the buzz around Small Business Saturday. So all whatever you've been talking about and all of your attributes, you want to tie those all in to the Small Business Saturday, because this is something that revolves around small business, right? So then you want to continue to talk about that. Also, you want to make sure that you have an event on your store on Small Business Saturday, and you want to make sure that you tell people about that event. Well, it sounds kind of basic, but this is a very good step, is that you want to start telling people, whether it's in your social media or different types of things, and this is an extra advantage, hey, we not only have Black Friday, we also have Small Business Saturday. So that's an extra step that'll bring people into the store, right? And then, you can, build all types of things when you're telling your story. You can even tell your story up to your build up to Small Business Saturday. So that's number one, is you have to spread the word. Number two, you have to make sure that your profiles, your Google profile, and your hours and your pictures of your store and your reviews are up to date and they're positive. If you happen to have a bad review on Google, well, you have to really address that review. So these are some things in this day and age, you only have a couple seconds of people's time and attention. And that's also a way that, you know, the Better Business Bureau comes in very, very, to be very advantageous, is to let people know that you are a reputable business and that you do have good reviews and that you do what you say you're going to do as a business, which is you service the customer, right? Whether you're in a retail business or a service business or any type of business, you know, it's always about the customer, and we all have to lead by example. And also make sure that in your Google profile you have real pictures of your store. It's great to have product photos and different things from the catalog or clip art or whatever. You know, let's say if you're an accountant, you may have some clip art of somebody doing an accountancy something somewhere, or somebody in a business suit doing some accountant things. But really, you know, the customers nowadays really want to see the business and where they're going. You know, they see clip art all day. They really want to see an authentic picture of who they're dealing with, and that's really goes back to the Small Business Saturday. Not dealing with a big company, you're dealing with a small business which has values and it has individuals, right? And then so that's on the Google profile stuff and those things. So we're done with that part. Then of course you have to create offers. You have to have some type of an offer that you're going to create, or even if it's a regular everyday offer that you always offer. You can take that same offer that you always offer and promote it on Small Business Saturday. That's something called highlighting, you know, or intensifying something that's an already positive attribute, but you can re-emphasize that on Small Business Saturday. And there's nothing wrong with re-emphasizing something that you already do already. There's many successful businesses who do that, and they just keep hammering home, you know, what it is that they do great. Let's say probably the best, most famous business that I could think of, it's a huge business, not a small business, but let's say Coca-Cola, right? Every day they talk about how great the Coca-Cola tastes. That's it right there. They keep saying the same thing. So there's nothing wrong with that. And then when you create these offers and you have these events, don't forget to collect names and promote for your next event or for your next sale. And then always try to have some treats for customers, because that's why Halloween was so famous, because everybody gets to eat candy. So always have some treats, whether it's coffee or something like that. Or if it's, let's say, if you want to pass out another treat, like a coupon or a promotion or something for your future sales, or if you want to cross promote with another business, you could pass out a gift card or something for another business, right? And for another small business, you know, and that's really good for like cross promotion, and it really builds community, you know, by promoting with other businesses. And then now to kind of tie it all together, we already talked about the social media and the online things like that. And but when you do have your event, it's always good to use social media in promoting your event while people are there too. So you can do that by creating like a hashtag, or asking your customers, you know, before, you know, hey, you know, when you guys come in, can you do this hashtag? Or if you like what you see, spread the word, send it to a friend or family member, whether on social media or some other way, via text message or calling somebody. You know, these are all different things, right? And then with all this in mind, with the Small Business Saturday, we all have to have goals, right? So goals on a Small Business Saturday do not have to be sales, like how much money did I bring on a small business Saturday? Because you may not bring much, right? And that's okay. But there's other goals as well. It's not just sales. Maybe what about having goals of connections? How many connections did you make on small business Saturday? How many new customers came in on a small business Saturday who did not know that you were there before? That's also a great goal. And also the most important goal when you have a small business Saturday or any type of event as a business is to learn. Like, what did you learn on Small Business Saturday? What did you learn on Black Friday? What did you learn on Cyber Monday? What did you learn on whatever type of thing? Always make sure that one of your goals is learning from whatever type of event or anything that you do. And that's one of the most important goals to me. But I think that's something to think about. So we all know that we have to have, ads, promotions, giveaways, lost leaders, raise awareness. You can promote multiple items. You can promote across different platforms, but let's just kind of go into these like a little bit more in detail, right? You have to have some type of an advertisement, and the advertisement can be really simple and things like that. So here we go. This is the very first truck that my mom bought. Well, we had to deliver, and she made sure that even though it was an old truck, she made sure to have our information on the side of the truck. So then people knew where we were at. So if you fast forward 25 years later, and by the way, that was a great truck. I remember that truck. It ran so good, and it was just an amazing vehicle. It never broke down on us. We got all our deliveries done. So it was just an awesome vehicle. And then, as you see here, we have our newer truck up top there, and that's more up to date and has still the same information is conveyed there, right? Elsa's house of sleep, our phone number, and it tells what we do. So both of these vehicles serve the same purpose. They deliver, and they also advertise that at the same time. So this is maybe an evolving brand, but the same message. Okay. And then and these messages raise awareness, and you can always tie it back in to your Small Business Saturday. Also, whenever you are promoting these and things like that, make sure that you use a small business to do as much of your advertising as possible. The truck on the bottom was painted by a local muralist. On the front of our store, we have a design that was painted by a local muralist. We just redid the front of the store, and then we have our design. And then this truck here was also done by a local artist. So just to wrap up, we can do the last slide here. That's our ad there. We have our giveaway. This is an ad, one of our previous ads. We have our giveaway. We're promoting our item, our lost leader. We have a free item there. That's a watch. You get a free gift. That's our team. That's our Elsa's House of Sleep team. And we're just trying to make progress in our journey. And I hope something that I said today was helpful or useful. Thank you.
Petra, that was fantastic. I was writing down a bunch of tips as you were speaking. We're so excited for you and your company's progress. A couple of takeaways certainly that I had was being able to delight your customers and treat them like family. I think that's in a one and done society, you don't always see that. That's an excellent tip for building authentic relationships. And of course, spending focus on your goals. You know, what did you learn? What have you learned from past endeavors, and what did you learn from your Small Business Saturday efforts? I think is a great reminder for all of us, because it's easy to kind of get lost in the moment, and we need to take some time for reflection. Certainly a great tip for all of our viewers. So thank you so much. We wish you the best with the holiday season and with your growing company. Wonderful backstory, and congrats on the expanding family business too. Job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to switch gears and talk to Adele. Boy, we're excited to hear from you. Babies on Broadway. We know you've got a cool backstory with the growth of your business, and we're excited to learn a little bit more and get some tips and experiences from you. So I'm going to hand it over now to Adele.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you so much. And Tetra, it was great. Tetra and I have had some connections in the past, and I absolutely always love hearing him speak. So that was really, really fun and exciting as well. I can completely relate to how he was saying his old truck was his favorite. We started off 9 years ago. Babies on Broadway is located in downtown Little Falls, Minnesota. So we have a town of about 8,000 people. My backstory is that when I had my first son, who is now 15 and aging incredibly, there was a real lack of availability in central Minnesota to touch, feel products. Just looking for that connection with other parents and trying to find something to make my life as a busy mom a little bit easier. I had a lot of trial and error and wins and fails. I'm extremely thorough, and I love to research and get credentials on everything I do. And so I kind of became the resident baby lady, where I was giving advice to my friends who started having children, doing their registries, their nurseries, and eventually it grew into opening a store in 2013. Started off as a one-stop shop sort of for your furniture for the nursery, so cribs, dressers, car seats, strollers, and then all the little things that you would register for as well. And so that is how Babies on Broadway was born. A few years into the business, we took over our neighborhood toy store, which was formerly the Gumdrop Tree. So then we have a little bit of expansion into, working further in the future with our families. And this recent last year, we opened a second location in downtown St. Cloud. We also are a durable medical equipment provider who does, breast pumps through insurance and other pediatric needs through the medical equipment too. So it's been a crazy growth journey, starting with essentially no staff, opening my doors, to growing to a staff of about 15 people, with 2 locations and a really large online presence. We are connected to a lot of mom groups across the country. We have moms from the West Coast, from Long Island City, New York. And this season is one of our favorite seasons. So I'm going to just give you some ideas that we do that have been really successful for us, and hopefully something can resonate with you that works for your business. So we have a massive Black Friday, Small Business Saturday weekend. And leading up to that, we do a couple things as well. So one of the things that Tetra hit on was really encompassing what people are missing in their shopping experience. Anybody can click on to Amazon or online sites, including my online site as well, and purchase a product. But I do believe deeply that people still want a connection with who they're working with. And what really grew our business was word of mouth with how we treat our customers. They really are part of our family. I have, people coming back at this point who are having their 4th and 5th child, so really encompassing that family feel into what we do. We want to serve our customers and bring them into, we call it the Bob Babies on Broadway Bob family. And they continue to come back year after year and tell their family members who are also expecting children. And then adding the toy store was really fun as well. So starting in November, this upcoming weekend, actually, we do our neighborhood toy store day. And what I love about this event is it's really community driven. So we have activities for the kids. We have an event space within our Little Falls location, and we bring them in and we demo, board games, new toys that have came out, educational learning things. We do a hot chocolate bar. This is a really big hit that people have loved, that our store has done for a long time. So it's really simple. We order a little hot chocolate maker, and it mixes the milk and hot chocolate. We put out a few toppings, some whipped cream. It's fun. The kids love it. Just people feel, kind of that nostalgic, shopping feel to it. So that's kind of how we kick off our holiday season, is with Neighborhood Toy Store Day. And then our next big event, it does start with Black Friday, but we actually find that we do equally or sometimes more the amount of business on Small Business Saturday. So we actually run the same promotion on both days. And what we do is we really promote Small Business Saturday as, with the American Express card giving out double, sometimes triple points on that day. We also have an in-store loyalty program where we will match that point giveaway. So people really like that, because then they're getting the points from their card holder that they're spending on, and then points in our store to use for a future date as well. We have our famous Papa Balloon sale. So this one took years of tailoring to make sure that it worked out from a perfect profit margin standpoint. So something kind of to be careful with if you choose to go down this rabbit hole is just making sure that your balloons are proportioned with your sales items, and that you have a strict set of rules. But people absolutely love this sale. We literally have people lined up out the door in our Little Falls location. It's crazy. I always say it should be on the news someday. So essentially what we do is both days, Fridays and Saturday both, we get together 15, we call them swag bags. And essentially what I'm doing is looking through the store for some items that maybe haven't sold that well. We get a fun bag to give them, so we put them in the bag. And then we partner with local businesses that are in our area and put some gift cards in there too from other local businesses. So we tend to grab like a local coffee shop, a restaurant, a gift store. We'll buy some fun little things to throw in the bags, and people love these bags. I have seen people line up as early as 3 o'clock in the morning. So it is wild. So we do 15 of them. We did have to start doing them with purchase. So it's 15 swag bags for the first purchase of $50 and over. And that has just been a really huge hit for us. And then we fill balloons. So my Thanksgiving went from a day with family to spending my Thanksgiving tying balloons until my fingers bleed. We essentially fill those balloons with proportion discounts anywhere from 10%, and then we go all the way up to 60%. We make sure that it's off of one regular priced item. We don't allow double dipping on families. If we can catch it, it can be tricky, but we ask for one per group per family. We have them come up to the register first. We bring in all their items, and then they pop the balloon at the register, and we take it off of the highest priced item and highest regular priced item at that. So it's been a really popular, exciting sale. People kind of love the fun of picking the balloon. If you choose to do something like this, make sure that when you're rolling up your discounts, you roll them to the inside, because I learned the hard way the first year. You could see them if not. We do refill them for Saturday, and we roll it into Sunday too, just in case people don't love the crowds. And it's been a really great tradition for us. People look forward to it every year. It gets bigger and bigger. So we're really excited to see how it does with having the second location as well. And then we roll into Cyber Monday. So I don't know if you have an online site, that literally what we do with that is try to make something kind of exciting for online, and we do a gift card top off. So we really make it like a coveted event. We only issue a certain amount of gift cards, they're high dollar value, and then we top them up with 20%. So we're putting, let's say, 50 gift cards out there that people can buy. And the minimum is actually $500. And so we throw those out there, and when they're gone, but they get a 20% top off on their gift card. So we found that that's a really a really good way to get people to come back into the store and, spend that money. And if you think about the 20%, it's really only 10 because hopefully your profit margin is there to kind of absorb some of that. So people really have enjoyed that sale for our Cyber Monday sale. And so that has been kind of our weekend. The other thing that we have found that works, really well through the holiday season is just doing events. So every single Sunday in our St. Cloud location, we do a brunch with Bob. We're going to start that after Neighborhood Toy Store Day, and we just partner with local businesses. We have food out, that people can snack on, and then we do a discussion or activity at the beginning of every Sunday. So one of the things that we have been really focused on is bringing life back to downtowns. I feel like retail and downtowns are an important part of, our community and oftentimes overlooked. And so it's just a way to get people out and about. I'm hoping in our St. Cloud area to start doing some progressive brunches where other people are open as well, so they can, kind of pop from one business to another. But while we're working on that, we're using those local businesses to provide the food and maybe even a topic here or there. And then on the last day before the Christmas brunch with Bob, we are hoping to do, or it is on the schedule to do a gingerbread making event with some kiddos as well. And then the other thing we really find during this holiday season that people like is really making beautiful displays and windows and also gift wrapping. So we do offer free gift wrapping. It is chaotic and crazy, but for sure people absolutely love it. And so that's something that we are commonly told time and time again that people come to us because we make it easy. Through the years, we do, baby registries and toy birthday bins. During the Christmas season, we take Santa lists, and we found that it works really well for us to, work with grandparents that maybe have multiple children. We have a couple that come back every single year. We know their grandkids' names, their age, so that we can kind of help them tailor gifts. We know what they've purchased the previous years, so they're not doubling up. We know their realistic budget that they want to stay in as well. And so that has been also a big hit and really makes those grandparents' lives a little bit easier, especially when they have lots of grandkids to shop for. So that has been something too. And we also will do like a couple of events specific for the grandparents, where we'll do like a grandparents like private shopping event where they can get a special discount and really take their time and talk to staff about what might be the best choices for their kiddos. So that is a super helpful suggestion too, is doing, some of those lists. And then another idea that we have seen work really well is also if you have like secret Santas, or you're doing teacher gifts or corporate gifts, coming out with some like price point baskets to do for people. Sometimes, consumers just don't want to think about what they have to do, especially busy executives. So if they've got some things that they need, we'll put out like price points, like here's a $20 gift for, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a coworker's child, or whatever the case may be. And we put those together so they can just kind of click and go, wrap them up and get them sent out. So those are kind of some of our, ideas for this upcoming holiday season. I really loved what Tetra was saying about, just making those connections with your customers and kind of bringing it back to the basics. For us, we have a very large social media presence, so we certainly do, constantly build up the suspense to the event. Those metrics are changing all the time, which can be really difficult. But we do get really good luck from, kind of doing our stories on Instagram and giving people sneak peeks at what we're doing. People love the surprises and the suspense and kind of, the build up to the actual event. So if you're looking to, do a small business Saturday event, I definitely suggest kind of starting that build up now, and letting your consumers know that you've got a big event and it's going to be great. And to shop small and support small, and just really reminding them of that idea. So people strive for that connection. They enjoy the ability to be able to feel like they're also giving back to something. It's a feel good. So I would definitely recommend, kind of putting that out there and taking advantage of the small business Saturday promotion that is out there. The SBA is promoting it, American Express is promoting it. So it's a great opportunity to get some sales in along with Black Friday. So yeah. And then there was one other online promotion that we did. If you have an online store, one thing that would be is a really good idea is an app called it's App Mav, and it does like a scratch to win promotion. So you have to be careful with this. If you have a lot of brands that you sell online that are minimum advertised price protected, you want to make sure that you are following their guidelines. But I tell you what, we did this a Cyber Monday a few years ago, and essentially it's an app where it'll create a little tiny like scratch off ticket online. You take your mouse and you actually scratch it off, and you can set the discounts within it proportionately. So we had anywhere from like 5% to the highest one being 25. And we had over 10,000 entries into our scratch to win. It went completely viral. People love the idea of a game. So if you can incorporate some fun things into that, it works well. I know that we've all kind of been combating with a lot of the larger online retailers, Amazon, Target, people doing early Black Friday deals, which has been a little bit of a surprise how early it started. So one of the things that we recently did in our store was this game called Bob Blinko. And so it's our version of Plinko. We made some Plinko boards and we put discounts on the bottom. We gave people 3 chips, and essentially they would save that off their entire purchase. And so for some people that actually ended up being a better deal than Black Friday. So they went ahead and we got some sales ahead of like the Black Friday Small Business Saturday day. And people had a ton of fun doing it. We tried to add like a little bit of element of let's make a deal, where we said, okay, you can keep your discount, or you can take an envelope with a gift card with either $5 or one for $250. So it was really interactive. People love the idea of kind of not knowing what they're getting and playing along. So, that was kind of some of the things that we did. So in wrap, I hope everyone has an amazing Small Business Saturday and holiday season.
Thank you, Adele. Okay, that was so exciting and inspirational. First of all, fantastic job of being so structured and creative at the same time. You have a really robust plan. Found it particularly interesting how much you use the other community members, but your other businesses in your community to team up, and that's a lovely tip right there. What you can do together. Also the nostalgia piece about just enjoying that downtown shopping experience and the hot chocolate, and it makes me want to run out and do that right this second. So it's working. And of course, some of that fun stuff too, like the Santa lists and let's make a deal and playing games with people. It just makes the whole experience, tangible and magical. So great work. I hope there are a lot of notes being taken on the tips that we have heard so far today. And with Small Business Saturday only being 17 days away, it's only 17 days away. That now is the right time to be putting the plans in place. So thanks again, Adele, and good luck on an awesome holiday season for you and your team.
Thank you so much.
And now we're going to turn it over to Jordan. Jordan, CEO and founder of Mend Jewelry. So nice to see you, Jordan. Thank you so much for joining us. We would love to hear about your business and how do you visualize Small Business Saturday, and what would you like to share with the group today?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Good work, Adele and Tetra. I took a bunch of notes. I love that both of your businesses are the stories are so good about whether it being a family run business or you're growing your family. Your stories are so compelling. And I think that's what drives people to support folks on Small Business Saturday. So I took a bunch of notes. So good job. Hi, everybody. I'm going to take us home. We've got 19 minutes. I have a handful of slides. There's a ton of content on them. I know I'm breaking the rules visually, but hopefully since this is recorded and if people want this deck, I'm happy to share it with folks because I bulleted out just some key items people can do if they don't take notes themselves. So no pressure. My name is Jordan, in case you didn't catch that or read my little Zoom name. I am from Chicago originally, and I am based out of the heart of Minneapolis. I have worked with startups and created my own ventures in the past 5 to 6 years. I'm currently a serial entrepreneur, so I have 3 businesses. I have JDP Consult, where I help businesses scale and grow to their potential through operational transformation. Essentially, all the hard operational things people don't want to do, they hire me to do it. Founders Co. is a co-owned retail brand I own with 2 other businesses, and we host different pop-up shops and different malls within the Twin Cities, and we carry small business products so that the barrier for entry for them to get into a large real estate space like a mall is easy because we curate and we carry them. And then Mend, which is going to be the brand that I'm going to talk about today, is my jewelry business that I started 5 years ago. And I'll give you a recap on the next slide of what that looks like. But I'm clearly busy because I have 3 operations I'm running. And when I'm not running my businesses, love a good fiction book, love crime podcasts. And I am a millennial, which means I spend $12 on my coffee and it's my entire personality. So nice to meet you. And I'm excited to kind of share my 3 tips. So if we go to the next slide, please. Quick overview of just my business so people know when I'm giving this advice kind of where I've been and what phase of the business I'm in. I started Mend 5 years ago, and Mend was started out of the desire to get my MBA, but I couldn't afford it and I love design. So I started Mend to create a business and take my passion for design and the purpose of growing and scaling a business on my own to fruition. Started it in 2017. I was walking into retail stores saying, hey, will you carry my stuff? Like very much boots on the ground salesperson. Within my first year, just through my network, I'm a venture capital anomaly. I had met this amazing couple. They gave me a 6-figure investment for 2 years. So from 2017 to 2019, I quit my day job, took a huge risk, and I scaled my business to about 30 different shops across country, did the whole have a temporary store in Mall of America. I had a partnership with Nordstrom, and I was doing every single event I could get my hands on. I did 50 events, which there's 52 weeks in a year. So you can guess that I was busy during that time of the business. So when the pandemic hit in 2020, I scaled back the business. I stopped taking additional funding because I wanted to maintain full equity of my business, but I also didn't want to accrue debt to pay myself a salary. Thankfully, I made that decision because when the pandemic hit, I had to scale back and focus just online and curated partnerships that made sense from a profitability standpoint. During this time, that's where I created my consulting business. So today I still own and operate Mend. The difference is I'm not chasing a bunch of retail store partnerships. I'm more focused on online, meeting my customer where they're at, doing partnerships and pop-ups, which I'll talk about in the next slide, and creating partnerships with brands that are in alignment with me and where my customers are, which would be like the Madewells. Women Venture is a big organization I love to support, and then pop-up shops through my other retail business. And my full-time gig is helping businesses make those decisions and scale. So if we go to the next slide, I'm gonna give you my top 3 things that can help you stand out this Small Business Saturday. So as we know, 80% of retail happens in Q4. The number's probably even higher now, and it's probably starting earlier, which Adela has mentioned. So I'm going to give you kind of 3 ways you can amplify your brand during this time through my experience, and kind of give you key ways you can do this. So the first way you can get yourself and meet your customer where you're at on Small Business Saturday is you can curate pop-up shops. And what I mean by pop-up shops is think about brands where your customer is already shopping. You can go local, Larger brand may be hard with Small Business Saturday coming up, but make a list, and this is good for planning beyond Small Business Saturday. Make a list of all the sizes of businesses you'd like to partner with. And because of the pandemic, in-store retail brands are always looking for ways to bring in their customers and bring something new. And the way to do that is by pitching yourself, saying, hey, I would love to partner with you for a pop-up shop at Small Business Saturday, or maybe it's the weekend after, or weekend in December. And this is how I've gotten into brands like the Madewells. You have local boutiques called Primp. How this is done is you say, hey, here's why I think both of our brands are a good fit for us to partner together. You show them how you're visually going to show yourself in their space. So in this picture in the left-hand corner, I have like beautiful wooden blush displays. So it looks like I'm integrated already with the retail brand. I say, hey, I'm going to create all the marketing material. We'll cross promote. So I'm now getting access to their customers. And then where the costs come in is you can either decide I'll pay a flat fee just to be in your space or percentage of sales. Or lately what I've done is myself and the brand decide we're actually going to donate a percentage of proceeds to a mutual organization we care about. So like for Madewell, we both love Dress for Success. So anytime I've done a pop-up with them, we will always donate a percentage of proceeds to that organization. And every store is a little bit different. You're going to hear a lot of no's before you hear yes. But I would say if you really believe you belong in that store and you want to get in front of your customers and know your customers are going to be there, why not pitch it as a really fun event? Like Adele has mentioned, where she has like hot chocolate, or, you know, I've done events where there's been champagne and donuts, and there's a way you can make it fun without having to do all the work of finding your customers. Start with where they're at. And there's so many supportive local retail brands in Minnesota that would be willing to do pop-ups. And I'm happy to make any connection I can because I've been through this process myself. And again, people want to shop in person. If you're there, you're going to start building your customer and meeting them where they're at. So that's number one. If you were to be an in-person pop-up event, let's go to the next slide, please. Now let's go to the digital route. So let's say you don't want to have an in-person event and you want to focus on driving people to your online site. Now, before you get like, oh God, social media videos, I get it. I have been here and I'm doing this myself for my brand. So I think telling your story through a video medium is huge right now. And I would say if we're all on Instagram, the Reels platform is built in Instagram. You do not need to be an editor. You do not need high quality video. Think about telling your story. And it's not just why or a product you're trying to sell. Think about the stories we just heard. Adele's story of being a mom and wanting to bring something to the market that didn't exist. Tetra has this amazing family run business. How can you tell that story through a platform, through a video? And I'm doing this myself. I'm going to create a video very much like Esther, who's here. We're just like looking at the camera and saying, hey, this is my business. This is why you should support me. Here are other brands you can support. Video is dominating. Vertical video is dominating every single platform. You've noticed like horizontal video is going away. Video is what's going to engage people and they want to see you in action. And if you are camera shy, which is totally okay, I'm not asking you to dance in front of your camera like TikTok. I think that's insane and not for everybody. But if you're camera shy, I've seen some really amazing videos where it's somebody in their studio and they have a time lapsing feature on their phone and it's them packing orders. Or you can have a straight shot down of you packing orders so people see the person behind the brand. Like the stories are what people want. Oh, I thought that question was for me. Sorry, I don't need to monitor the chat. I'm like so prepared to monitor the chat. But the stories are what people connect to. It's what drive people to not buy from the Amazons and the Targets. It's what drives them to not do something that's convenient. They're supporting a family-run business. They're supporting a local designer who is putting money in the hands of other women. So telling your story in a visual way, like a video, and again, it doesn't need to be posted on Instagram. It could be on LinkedIn or Facebook, but film some sort of moment in time to capture your brand during this season, especially around Small Business Saturday, because sometimes people think things just happen in your business and like you magically have all this inventory. But I think we forget that entrepreneurs sometimes make things look really easy when we're really like putting every single ounce blood, sweat, and tears into our business. And no one sees that. And again, someone I mentioned this earlier, people like the behind the scenes. They like to see the authenticity and the real person that's behind the brand. That's what people are interested in. And you want it to be authentic. Don't feel like you have to be somebody you're not. Again, you do not need to like put on a show. Just be in your studio, be in your space, or have somebody interview you. Like figure out a way where it works for you, so people know who you are and the story and really the why behind your business. I will be doing this myself with men, so keep an eye out if you follow me on Instagram, because I will be filming something like this. All right, let's go to my last one here. Thank you. So the third one, so let's say like, if you don't want to do something in person, if you're not, really building social momentum, which I think you should, the third thing you can do is offering a promotion this year that's tied to a larger purpose. And I know we hear this, but sometimes we feel like we can't make an impact because we're a small business, because we're not donating millions of dollars to larger organizations. But I like to think that customers are so much smarter than we give them credit for, and consumers want something that's tied to a bigger purpose. It can't just be, people can see through, the Amazons and sometimes the Targets that are just, making so much profit. Not to say they don't put money in the hands of organizations, but it's different. And I think every year and even annually, I try and tie my promotions to something larger than selling someone jewelry or connecting someone to a gift. It's more about, is there an organization I can, for one piece of jewelry, can I donate 100% of the proceeds to Women Venture? It's just one product, the dollar amount, let's say it's only a couple $100, but that to me is like, you're doing good with the brand, and people want that. People want to put their dollars where they know it's tied to a bigger purpose. You can either do something for like the month of December. You can just do a percentage of proceeds. It could be 5%, 10%, 15%. Again, you get to dictate what that is, but make it about an organization you care about. People see that, and people want to be a part of something bigger than just consumerism and just, running a transaction. They want to feel as if they're not only supporting a small business, but that small business is even tied to a larger initiative. And for men, mine is always tied to organizations that empower women and support women. So like Dress for Success, I've mentioned. Women Venture, I donate to them monthly because they put education, grants, and information in the hands of women so that there's more women business owners. And I've just kind of continued to support that effort, and my customers care about that too. So you'll know if you have the right customer, if they care about that. And you can promote these things through social, through your email list, in person, signage that you're donating a percentage to a larger cause. And then the last way you can do this, so let's say you're not in a place where you want to donate financially. Think about larger brands that have totally changed the market on what does giving back mean. So Bombas, which is the famous funky sock brand, they donate a pair of socks for every purchase. So they are an essential item. So if you are an essential item, if you're body care, clothing that could be donated to a shelter, to a group in need, they have stats on their site that just shows who they're donating to. And I never would have thought that buying socks could like actually help people. But now I buy from them because I know the socks I'm buying, someone else's feet are going to have socks on them that wouldn't have it otherwise. And then my last example is Allbirds. They, great how I built this interview, if you haven't listened to it, they make shoes. They were disrupting the shoe industry. They wanted to make sustainable shoes out of materials that didn't hurt the environment. So they use wool from sheep. And they're one of the first brands to put what their carbon emission is per item that they are creating. It's even on the clothes that they wear and their shoes. They're trying to change the way that they create products, and they're not just a shoe company trying to rack in as much profit as possible. And I'm pretty sure they're what is it called? A B Corp company too. So like they're not only offering comfortable, stylish, cool shoes, they're also making a statement by doing this. And they've been wildly successful, and they don't sell in wholesale retailers. They're all direct to consumer, and they have pop-up shops. So they have figured out a way where they can sustain themselves without having to go to other marketing channels. So needless to say, figure out a way to give back. Again, it could be hours of your time based on the amount of sales you have, but people and consumers are hyper aware of this. And, don't worry about the dollar amount you're giving. It's just the notion that you have taken your success and you've passed it on to an organization that wants to be supported as well. Okay, so to recap, your first to do could be, if you want to get in front of your customers this Small Business Saturday and do an event, pitch a pop-up event. Find a retailer, figure out where they're at, say, hey, I would love to partner with you. Here's what I can provide you. Here's what you can provide me. Build a relationship, because those retail relationships will last you a long time, and eventually maybe they'll buy your product. So consider it a low risk way to get in front of your customers, and they're really fun. I found all the pop-up shops I've done have been super fun. Second thing is share your story, and I'm saying specifically in a video format that can be uploaded, that shows who is behind the business and why supporting you is important this season, and how can they support you, and give them more that maybe your brand wouldn't share otherwise. And then the third piece is, how can you offer promotions this holiday season that have a bigger purpose, that tie you to something then more than just a retail brand collecting profits each month. And again, I know I'm a millennial and I want to have purpose to everything, but I think it does matter. And I think our consumers want to see that. And it just feels good to create that cycle of giving, especially around the holiday season, which I know a lot of people are feeling. Those are my top three. If you click on the next slide here, those are my QR codes to all my businesses, but hopefully we'll share in an email this deck that has details in it. But thank you for having me. I hope everyone has a fantastic retail holiday season. And yeah, I hope this has been somewhat helpful.
Thank you, Jordan. That was fantastic. Clearly you have a marketing background. And
is it showing? Is my marketing showing?
Yes, it is. And it's exciting to think about these newer ways of marketing, like the reels and the pop-up shops. And what's especially exciting about it is it really gets you out there into newer audiences, and it maybe pushes out the comfort zone a little bit. But it's great that it underscores the authenticity side. Reels will definitely do that, and to meet new people or go where your potential customers are, you've got to put yourself out there. What a great business growth story that you have. And yeah, the serial entrepreneur, you must be pretty busy doing all of those things. Something tells me that jewelry might sell well during the holiday season. So that is
Yes.
a fun line to be in.
Super fun. And it's crystal jewelry, so there's meaning behind it, depending on how woo-woo you want to get. It's super fun. Definitely a luxury gift item, but my customers are fun, and it's usually a lot of last-minute husbands that I'm working with.
Well, right. You have give the people what they want. So
Correct.
Yes, that's fantastic. But yeah, what a great marketing eye. And of course, doing business with purpose is music to the Better Business Bureau's ears as well. What can we do to lift up other businesses and be trustworthy and authentic in the marketplace is lovely to hear. So I'd like to bring on all of the panelists. If you could bring your videos back on just for a few minutes, and we can hit a couple of questions. Now, one that I'd like to start with, actually all three of you to answer, and a couple, of you hit on it a little bit, but I just want to delve a little bit deeper too. Do each of you have an example of one business that you specifically partnered with during the holiday season? And what benefit of that came to you? So I think I'm going to start with Adele on this one. Can you mention one business that you have partnered with locally? I guess it doesn't have to be a local business. It could be a national business that has helped you during the holiday season. Oh, actually, I might have trouble with Adele's audio. Jordan, could you take that question?
Sure. I would say brands I have partnered with So from a local standpoint, there is actually, it's an events planning business called the Minneapolis Craft Market, MCM. There's a woman named Haley who owns it. She puts on phenomenal local markets for folks. And I have done her events time and time again, and they're all at different venues around the Twin Cities. So I've always partnered with her and joined her events, and those have been super successful. She has a following of customers, they're ready to shop, and there's usually like alcohol. It's usually at like a brewery, or they're serving champagne, or there's a bartender and a DJ there. Those events have been super successful. And then at like a larger scale, I've done events around the holidays at like Madewell, and Madewell has local managers, and they have a program called Hometown Heroes. So if your customer is a young, affluent woman that likes to shop, or even there's men that shop at Madewell too, but it's mostly women, they specifically look for small businesses in their local hometown to partner with at no cost to the brand to set up shop on their busiest day, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, to sell their products. So I've kind of done it both ways. So there's a local market vendor that is like always curating the best brands during the holiday season. And then I've worked with a larger brand that has local connections.
Awesome. Tetra, do you have an example of another local business that you have partnered with during the
You know what?
shopping season?
I've partnered with I partnered with like the Midway Chamber to promote my business during the holiday season. Also, there's some local businesses like Golden Time Coffee Shop. You know, we've done some cross promotion with them, and then there's Earth Beauty Supply. You know, we cross promote with them quite often. So it's basically like, you know, very local businesses that, and also organizations which can help, you can cross promote during the year or during the holiday season.
So thank you. Actually, Tetra, one other question for you. It has to do with, and any of you can answer it, but I want to start with Tetra. Regarding social media, because you spoke about that in your presentation and how important that is, you know, to be looking at reviews and to be connecting and liking and following with others. Do you have any advice about to small businesses who maybe haven't done too much of that yet? Like, what would be here's the first thing you really should do if you're trying to grow your social media presence?
You know what? It sounds funny, but I'm not really that good at social media, but we do use social media to the best of our abilities, to the best of my ability. And one of the things that I've done is just to start, you know, just start to put something up there and put anything up there. And also it's good to know a little bit about how the social media works. So I've been doing a lot of pictures and things like that. Whereas, as Jordan highlighted, now it's reels and more or less like interactive videos. So I've posted a few things to our stories, you know, and then kind of just telling a story of what's going on at the same time as what we're doing. So whether we're doing some construction or whether we're having a sale or whatever's going on, it's always good to reach out via social media, have a reel, and you just post that reel.
Thank you. And to Adele, can you give another example of a company or organization that you have partnered with and or a unique way you've used social media?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the social media, what people are truly looking for is connection. They want an insight to your life a little bit, and that really keeps them in tune. You know, it sounds really silly, but like a year ago, I was so tired and exhausted, I literally wore my husband's pants to work. And people still talk about it to this day because we put it out there on social media. So, I mean, I think they just want to feel connected to you, understand who you are, what your family is like. like, and that really prompts them to shop with your business. In terms of partnerships, we do this quite frequently, especially being in a downtown community that you're kind of trying to revitalize, but just really using, like, for example, the location we're in St. Cloud used to be Copper Pony. They're a gift store. So we try to like keep that bridge and connection together, where we'll put their products in our swag bags, or sometimes we'll use their decor in a nursery that we're doing, and just kind of that back and forth, like, hey, you can buy this here, and kind of showcasing their products as well.
That's fantastic. This is just so exciting. I'm hoping everybody feels just as motivated, because there's so much energy from this group and all of these great creative ideas. I didn't actually prep you for this, but I'd like all three of you to maybe share one closing comment, one last hurrah, like, okay, guys, it's kind of a wild season. You can do it. What's one last tip? It could be a new one, or it could be one you just want to underscore that you've covered earlier. But one thing you'd like to share to everyone that has joined us today. And I'm going to start with Jordan.
I mean, it's so cheesy, but I always say this. It's like, you don't ask, you don't get. Like, just put yourself out there. Try things this season. The retail world changes every year. You know, platforms are changing all the time. As long as you're staying true to yourself, like, just ask. You know, there's a story you really want to get into. That is how I got into Nordstrom. I just like pitched myself to a manager, and they like made a workaround for me. So don't be afraid to ask. And like, no, it'll take a couple no's until you get yes. But like, what's the harm in asking? Asking is, I mean, you don't lose anything by asking. And also plan your like time off in January now after the holidays. Like, book that massage, book the facial now, so that when you're totally dead at the end of the holiday season, you have something to look forward to.
Great, thanks. Tetra, do you have any final words of advice that you want to share with our group today?
One of the words of advice is, it's pretty cheesy, you know, but you just have to be grateful for however things are going, you know, whether it's up or down or sideways. You just got to be grateful for whatever you have, because you have to use whatever you have to learn or make progress or whatever's got to be done. So sounds kind of basic, but that's my only word of advice.
That's amazing. And it's not basic at all. It's extremely important. Thank you so much for reviving the importance of gratefulness during the holiday season. Adele, do you have any last comments?
Yeah, I think I would just say remembering your worth and what you give and provide to the community, kind of finding your my why as to why you're doing what you're doing. There was some passion or dream that started it, and leaning into that if things are hard or not going well. Sometimes for me, it's like reading my Facebook reviews, or just remembering why exactly I'm doing what I'm doing. So kind of with Tetra, just being that gratefulness, and giving you yourself that drive to push forward. So
thank you. That's fantastic. And to everybody who has been listening today, we hope you've enjoyed all of these tips, ideas, success stories. We hope you're jazzed about the holiday season. Small Business Saturday is November 26th. 17 days right around the corner. I want everybody to know that this again was recorded, and all of those who have registered will get the link to the recording tomorrow. From the Better Business Bureau and the Minnesota Retailers Association, and of course our SBA, we invite you to learn more about what our organizations offer too, and how we can support your business, not just on Small Business Saturday, but the whole year long. We thank our panelists again so much for giving of their time and ideas to help us grow our businesses and be more successful. We wish all of you a successful holiday shopping season. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.